is now open on Bettor Sports Network with Justin Fensterman.
I am not drafting a player that gets chronically injured or a player that is injured going into the season. Those are two things that I'm going to improve on going into next season because I'm 0 for 3 now with making the playoffs in your home league, and it really, really pisses me off.
And Adam Ronis.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of heard this a couple years in a row now. So
you heard that I wasn't going to draft the injured player, and then I
heard I got to get to the playoffs. Blah.
Take it away, boys.
The playbook is live here on the Bettor Sports Network. My name is Justin Fensterman. His name is Adam Ronis. For the next 2 hours, let's talk all things sports and other things as well. Maybe we'll loosen up a little bit more. Speaking of people who like to be loose, Adam Ronis, what's going on? You staying loose?
Yeah, softball's around the corner. I got to get ready.
Yeah, when's the first game?
April 2nd or 3rd, whatever that Sunday is. So
nice.
So we're basically what? 12, 9. Oh, wow. 4 weeks away.
That's
Damn.
right. That's
4
right.
weeks from Sunday.
Bro, I might play this year, actually. I might be a little bit more involved than just a fill-in. We'll have to see, though. That's the thing, man. I'm not good at hitting. I've never been good at hitting, never been good at swinging the bat. I could go to the batting cages. I might have to this time. I completely suck, dude. Any advice for me on how to improve my swing? You know, like pretend you're like my dad for a second. Like, let's not pretend that. Let's just not. But give me some strategy on how to properly swing the bat because I'm not good at transferring the weight from my back foot to the front when in the swing.
It's pretty simple. See the ball, hit the ball.
You know what? It's funny. My dad actually used to say that to me.
It's all technique.
Bro, I can never keep my head down. Golf, never keep my head down. I've had this problem for years. And
that's why you are a bowler instead.
Yeah, because then I have to keep my head down essentially as I'm getting ready with the motion. So I wanna try to get back into better shape before my 40-yard dash with Adam Ronis in the state of Ohio in August. So this will help me with the conditioning a little bit. So I'm excited about that. I want to impress Adam Ronis. I got to beat him at something. And he's one of the best in shape people in the fantasy industry. And I'm gonna try to take him out. It's gonna be hard though, Roan. You're fast. That's the problem. I've seen you in your intramural football phase right there. You're very, very quick here. Speaking of things that are very quick, let's talk very quickly about what we're going to be doing in the NBA tonight, because as we have been doing for the last few days here on the playbook, we've been going over one play each to start you off. Then we'll pick it back up next hour when we do a full hour of NBA team futures and player props for tonight's 10-game slate. But let's start it all out with the first play of the day. That's right. First play of the day. Roan will give one. I'll give one. Roan, you go first. Age before beauty.
Well, I'm more beautiful than you. I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that.
I mean, I have the receipts to prove it.
But so do I.
What, from one person? That doesn't count.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take multiple opinions over one person.
I think other people will think that I'm good looking too.
Your family doesn't count.
Oh, okay, then, man, damn it, down to one then. Okay,
yeah, there we go. Back to the well again. Like I did the other night, I think this went up 1 point. Jalen Williams over 25.5 points, rebounds, assists. That's Jalen of the Thunder. They have 2 Jalen Williams. Make sure you bet on the right one. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is out once again. And in the 7 games that SGA has missed this year, Williams is averaging 19.6 points, 5.3 assists, and 4 rebounds. So that goes over this number. And he's almost gotten there on points alone in the last few games. The last 4 games that SGA has sat out, 32, 21, 40, and 35. So this number is too low. It's the Jazz. It's a 1-point game. The total, I think, is around 231. So I expect there to be, a decent amount of points here. The last time these two teams played, it went overtime. And in that game, that game, SGA played. That's why the numbers for Jalen weren't that good. He had 9, 6, and 2, but that's with SGA taking 25 shots. So we've seen Jalen Williams scoring alone the last 4 games, 24, 27, 15, 22. So if he gets 20 points tonight, we don't need much else. He has 7 assists the last game, 8 assists the game before. He has at least 4 rebounds in 5 of the last 6 games. So this looks like a good number here. And Utah, we know, hasn't been playing great defense. They're 24th in defensive efficiency for the season. So I like Jalen Williams tonight again.
A lot of usage going his way now, especially with SGA out and with the way the Thunder have been shuffling players in and out. He seems to be a standard there, but just don't forget, make sure you're checking your work. J-A-Y, not J-A-L. That's the one that you're looking for there. A little bit of confusion. My prop is going to be a little themed right here with the jersey. It is Jersey Friday here.
Trae Young?
What's that?
Trae Young?
No, Clint Capella. I've got over his points plus rebounds. He did it last time. It's 22.5. I made a little boo-boo. When I placed this bet this morning, I accidentally placed the over on the points, rebounds, assists, which are at 23.5.
That's fine.
Yeah, and so I actually placed the bet again at just the points, rebounds at 22.5. It's at minus 130 on DraftKings. It was at minus 125 earlier. It's gone up a little bit juicier now. With Clint Capella, here's the deal. I'm expecting him to play close to 30 minutes tonight. The Blazers really can't defend up front. No Yusuf Nurkic, even if he was in, doesn't matter anyway. Went over this number less than a month ago when these two teams met up. So actually a little over a month ago, 10 points, 15 rebounds for Clint Capella. He scored in double figures in 5 of his last 6 games, 12 rebounds or more in both of his last 2 contests. And, you said I'm all right, too, if you bet the PRAs, but I'm going to put for my first play of the day, the PRs for Clint Capella over 22.5. That is where I'm going for this. Again, like I said, the rebounds have been plentiful over his last couple of games. It's an easy matchup. Should be a nice, swift back and forth when it comes to pace of play, Roan. So that's where I'm going. So you got your Jalen Williams PRAs. I got my PRs for Clint Capella as the first plays of the day on the playbook here on a Friday, Roan.
Yeah, so with Capella, the one thing I noticed, and we don't know if this is going to continue, but remember, that was the first game that Quinn Snyder coached, and he played him 35 minutes. Like, is that something he's going to do going forward? Because if you look at his minutes, 35 that game, before that, 19, 21, 26, 29, 29, 25, 23. There were just too many games where in the fourth quarter he's not on the floor. So I was eyeing this prop earlier today because I love the matchup as well against Portland. I'm not sure. And he could probably still get there even if he plays 26 to 29 minutes. Obviously, I want the 35. But is this a new trend that we're going to see going forward with Snyder as coach?
I was a little bit surprised to see him play that many minutes. But is it out of the realm of possibilities that he could play consistently because he's averaging a little over 26 per game? He could end up playing around 30, 31, I think, on average moving forward for the rest of the way. The Hawks need him out there. That's the big thing that I take away. I never really understood why he was limited. At first, I thought that maybe they wanted to get Onyeka Okonkwo a little bit more run, but who cares? You've got this guy averaging a double-double, 12 and over 11 rebounds, also over a block as well. He's not the best defensive center, which I think is a strike against him. Like you said, though, new coach, very encouraging seeing that much playing time from last game. So I don't know if it's going to be 35 every time, Rome, but I see him more in the 30s for the rest of the way as the Hawks try to position themselves, either trying to go on a run to get the 6 or to be solidly in the play-in tournament. So that's why I went with Clint Capella today. But yes, be careful when betting because I accidentally bet the PRAs instead of the PRs at first. I put in the PRs, though, with that, Roan. So why wouldn't they play this guy anymore? That I did not understand why he was getting limited minutes.
Yeah, I don't know either, but that's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, I was looking at that prop earlier and was considering it. Just wasn't sure what's going on with the minutes.
Absolutely.
But it is a good matchup here against Portland. We know Nurkic is still out. So it's the highest scoring game total on the slate. That's why I'm like a little disturbed that I don't have any prop on that game now. I might come up with something. I might have to go a little wild today because I won't be able to bet. Well, I might be able to bet tomorrow if lines are out before my flight takes off.
Right.
I got a flight at 11 a.m. in the morning, and I won't be able to bet Saturday and after that or Sunday. So I might have to make up for it tonight. But I do like the Capella one.
Imagine if you're on a flight and as you get like internet, whatever the highest speed internet is, let's just say you have to do work on the plane. And as you're flying over the states, it becomes legal for you to bet in those states. That'd be pretty interesting. I don't know how all that would work out, but let's say you're watching like the map grid. Like, I don't know if you've ever flown JetBlue, but they've got the map grid right there on the TVs. And you can see what state you're flying over. And if it's a legal betting state, as soon as you see the mark go to the state, boom, log into the Wi-Fi and see if the books will let you. I've thought about this a few times, trying to take advantage. I doubt that those
I
books
don't think
will be able
so.
to pick up your location where you're at, too. So I was thinking about that. Just a thought right there for those that are flying. Rome, before we go over what's trending, I got to ask you, man, how's everything going with TGFBI? I mean, this is an industry draft. I'm sure some of you who follow different fantasy analysts are seeing this hashtag industry draft right here. How are you doing in that league?
My league's really tough, man. I'm not really getting any value in this draft at all. And, a lot of the guys that I want keep going like right before me. So I think this has been a really difficult draft. My roster is kind of not what I would have expected going in, but we're in round 17. We started on Monday. Our draft was moving really fast. It slowed down a little bit, but right now we're in round 17 of a 30-round draft, 15-team league. So, there just doesn't seem to be much value. It seems to be a pretty sharp room here.
With that, anything you notice with positions that are flying up the board? What are some of the positions early on that were being heavily prioritized? I'm guessing closers.
Yeah, that's pretty been the case. I was the one who took a closer first. I took Edwin Diaz at the end.
Was there a mini run after that?
I took Diaz end of round 2. Then in round 3, Clase, Hader went. Round 4, Jordan Romano, Ryan Helsley, Felix Batista, Raisel Iglesias. Round 5, Devin Williams, Ryan Presley. Then round 6, there was no one. Round 7, Kenley Jansen, Camilo Doval. So even though this is a league with Fab, people are prioritizing the closer early. For me, it's where I'm picking. I just didn't love what was there at the end of the second round. There were some good pitchers. I thought one might make it back. None of them did. And I didn't really love the bats there. So I knew I'd get a bat that I liked in round 3. So that's why I went with Diaz. Clase made it back to round 3. But even the bats that were there, like Nolan Arenado went first pick around 3. I don't want Nolan Arenado there. He's good, but doesn't get steals. Not a great, he's fine in batting average, but I don't want him in round on the 2-3 turn. And then it was heavy pitching. So, I didn't really love any of the bats there. So that's why picking like in the top 4, top 5, I've noticed I'm fine taking a closer in round 2 or 3.
And with that, position runs in fantasy drafts, something that you have to decide if you're going to respond to the run, continue the run, or if you're going to stay away, prioritize other positions. And I made that mistake in football, going after those running backs in like the 4th, 5th round that you really don't want. But the fact of the matter is you're seeing a run and you feel a little bit of the pressure. And there were times a few years ago, an example was I drafted Devin Singletary out of paranoia, thinking that I was going to miss a certain tier of the position there. And with closers being heavily prioritized, responding to the run, you seem to have started the run in this particular league, and you responded to it as well. I just never know.
I'll say that I've done 4 drafts now, and every draft I've taken a closer in the first 3 rounds. So it's just happened to work out that way, but I want to try and get one, and then I'll worry about the second one. We're in round 17. I have not taken a second one yet because a lot of the ones that are here now, we just don't know if they have the job. So Sunday I'll be in an auction league for labor. So we'll see how that goes. I'll have to gauge the market and then decide what I'm going to do. It is a 12-team league, so you're going to want to come out probably with at least 2. We know they'll be available on the waiver wire, but that will depend on the market.
I don't know if you know this off the top of your head, so I apologize for putting you on the spot here, but we've got labor this weekend. We've got tout wars. The mixed drafts are going on as well throughout these weeks here. what are some of the stark differences in rules between labor and tout? Do you know of any? Because we're going to be talking about these drafts a lot, and obviously there are some.
Oh, I see what you're doing here. You're slick. You're trying to get your research done by me giving you some easy answers for your broadcast. Smart.
Can you answer the question then? Like,
no, I
seriously,
can't. Do your own research.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
No,
know,
I'm just kidding.
Monday show, you're gonna fill out the rundown.
What?
And I'll just wait on your rundown.
On which show?
This show.
Okay.
This show.
Now then, we're gonna go rogue. No rundown. I've done shows like that in the past.
I know. I know.
No. So the biggest difference is labor is batting average and tout is on base percentage. Now, there are certain rules with labor. Now, my labor is a mixed league auction. So this one just started a few years ago. But I know in the mono leagues, I don't think you can reserve players that you draft for the AL, NL. But I'm not 100% certain. So you're going to have to look into that. But yeah, the main thing is the on base percentage versus batting average. Those are big differences.
What about Shohei Ohtani and how
he's two players in tout, so offense and pitcher.
And then in labor, you have to decide every week.
I think so.
Right?
Yeah. And that's both are weekly leagues.
If you got Ohtani, by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt. If you got Ohtani, wouldn't you more often than not decide on the hitting front, right? To keep him as a hitter?
Because he's not going to get a lot of 2-start weeks with the way the Angels deploy their rotation. But I think that's probably the initial plan. So I think it was 2 years ago. No, was it last year in TGFBI or 2 years ago? I had him and I drafted it. I think it had to be 2 years ago because I got him like in the double-digit rounds. And my plan was to use him at pitcher. But I wound up because he was eligible at utility, but so was JD Martinez. So I had to wait until the end of May for JD Martinez to get outfield eligibility to actually use Ohtani in an offensive slot. But I think I wound up using Ohtani on offense most of the time. And it's probably how you're going to have to do it. But, as the season goes along, you might wind up being really good on offense and you need a pitcher and then you shift. But I think in most instances, you're going to use them as a bat just because you'll get more opportunity to use them. And then if you have like a week where the Angels play 6 games and there's a rain out, they push it back and he's in your lineup. Now you don't get him to pitch for the week and you got a wasted week of nothing from him.
With Shohei Ohtani and just players in general in these mono leagues, what happens if someone like an Ohtani gets traded to an NL team mid-season?
I think in those leagues you get to keep him, if I'm not mistaken, for the rest of the year. I know old school.
Does he become eligible to grab for FAB in the NL immediately if he's traded? So he does. So he just pops up as a free agent, and then people are bidding on him.
That's why you'll see some people kind of hold back some FAB for the trade deadline, knowing, okay, we usually see movement every year.
It's possible that he gets traded before the season.
I guess it's possible. Yeah,
it could definitely happen.
I mean, you can't play like that. I'm almost certain that you don't lose their stats if you have them in the AL and they get traded to NL. But you definitely are allowed to bid on him as a free agent if he goes into a new league.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like from what we've seen, and things can change. There's plenty of time to work this out, but I keep thinking about this, that it is possible that we could have this guy on another team by the time we hit July. So that's just something I'm wondering. Again, you're going to be hearing a lot of coverage regarding these drafts. You're going to be hearing coverage of the AL only, the NL only. We're going to talk about that. Ronas on Monday, we're going to talk about regarding his flight's not delayed. We're going to talk to him about.
Yeah, there's a good chance it's going to be delayed.
Why are you saying good chance?
Just have a feeling.
What are you putting the odds at? -250 that you're delayed?
I don't know.
Jeez, yeah, just say it. You want off the show.
No, I don't.
We get it there. You'll just do it from
If I wanted off the show, I would have booked a Monday night flight.
True. Maybe you can hardwire on the plane and
sure.
do the show from the seat. Imagine that. Dang. Trending topics going on here. What do you think of this with Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson with hashtag Lamar to Washington. Because I keep seeing this pop up all day long here. The Washington Commanders, no more Carson Wentz to worry about here. I thought that they were going to go in with Sam Howell. I mean, it's still possible that they can, but there's definitely at least a lot of people that are interested to see if there's a match between Lamar Jackson and the Washington Commanders. Yeah, would pretty much get to stay local if he does so. Kind of drive about 45 minutes down the road, and boom, he's at his new destination here. I mean, do you see the Commanders grabbing Lamar Jackson or trying to acquire him? Because I always thought that they were going to be committed. And from what I was hearing, and things again can change in the media, but from the DC media, I felt that they were in on Sam Howell. That's kind of the impression I got. So this is a little bit surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, man? I hope it doesn't happen, obviously.
That we're not drafting Terry McLaurin if that's the case.
Why not?
Well, I mean,
they could change that. They could let him throw more.
Right. If he wants to. We'll have to see if he does here with Mr. Bieniemy right there. So Daniel Jones, another player that is, because obviously there are reports out there that the Giants and Daniel Jones are getting some movement regarding what's going on when it comes to whether or not he's going to be a member of the Giants. And do you think that he's worth $40 million here? Because these quarterbacks, bro, they're getting paid.
Yeah, he's definitely not. We all know that. I think everyone – I mean, we know if you pay a quarterback that much, it really hurts your cap.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, Daniel Jones, he had definitely some impressive games, was good, was decent in the playoffs, especially that Minnesota game. So it was good seeing him. I wonder if that he ends up still with the Giants. I think he stays with the Giants. I really do. I'm trying to think who else they could go. I haven't really heard of any other quarterbacks that are linked to them at this time. So in the next couple of weeks, it'll be very telling. Maybe we'll get our guy Andrew Cooper on, who you hear on Front Yard Fantasy and see all week long, 7 a.m. Eastern with Simon and John Luke. Another thing that's trending, Max Scherzer. You see him messing with hitters in spring training here? Using that clock, bro. He's using the clock, and he's waiting. And what happens is if the batters call him their one timeout, he stays in motion, which I think is kind of smart right there. Probably that keeps him focused, ready to go. And then he watches that clock go down and down. I think this is just something that we're going to be seeing from him. I mean, he's going to want to mess with the hitters a little bit.
Yeah. He's trying to take advantage of a rule and play mind games as well with the hitters. So he's smart. He's a very cerebral pitcher.
Yeah, for sure. Finally, Ronan, this is someone else who was being hashtagged before, a very popular trend. Eminem. I want to get your take on Eminem here, because I know that you're a very big-time hip-hop savant. I love hip-hop as well. Love myself R&B as well. A lot of for the rappers that Ronus loves, I like the song that's normally like mainstream. Like yesterday with Cameron, I brought up Welcome to New York City. Ronus completely dismissed me on that. I thought of another song, Hey Ma. Do you like Hey Ma at least?
It's still not one of his better songs.
Eminem, is he a top 5 rapper?
I mean, that's always tough. I think he has to be considered up there, yeah.
I think he's got nice flow. Good lyricist, as he's always been, kind of, very raunchy off the wall lyrics, but good lyricist, good flow on the albums. And I see why he's being hashtagged and stuff like that. Someone came out and said it's obviously it's one of the reasons is top 5 because of race. But I always thought that he had major appeal, definitely to the kids and the teenagers when I was growing up. But I thought that people in their 20s really liked him as well. And I think that some of his rap is very comical too. I think he did a good job of getting in those references from time to time. I think the production as well, which I guess you can't really judge based off the rap. If you're judging the song, then you could judge the Dr. Dre productions from there. But I always thought that Eminem was just a very solid rapper. The Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, The Eminem Show. I love those albums, his old stuff, the best. And then you see other albums like Curtain Call get really popular. I love those first few albums, though, of Eminem, Ron. Did you have them?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, pretty much anything he puts out has always been great. So always a big fan. Even
Stan. Stan's it's a wild song, kind of like freaky song, but it's a good song. I mean, it's good. What he does is good. It's unique. It's different. And yes, there is some production end to that as well. So Eminem, I think that even though, some question why he's considered top 5, I always thought that he was great. And where he came from and everything, the story, Detroit there, rap battling, then finally getting that deal when I believe it was it Interscope who essentially hired him to start there? I know Dr. Dre heard a little bit of a demo and was like, wow, this guy's good. They got him in the next day. And I believe that day one, if I remember correctly from seeing a documentary, day one of Dre and Eminem getting together, he did My Name Is. And that's took a day. That's it. That's all it was. They clicked immediately there. Even the funny skits too. Some of these rap albums have skits and everything. And I even thought the ones with his attorney, Paul Rosenberg, about, hey, you may want to turn it down. I can't explain it to the record label. Or when he's like, I hear you're toting your gun. Don't bring your gun to the studio. I always thought those skits were funny, Rode.
Yeah, a lot of skits I think on albums are wasted, but those were some good ones.
Hey, it's Paul Rosenberg, your trusty attorney at law. I listened to the album. Can you kind of turn it down a little bit, keep it clean? There's only so much to the record label that I can explain. I love that so much. Amazing. AB, Adam Bernard, our producer, the resource. We call him the resource because he has a lot of info. AB, you got a little story about Eminem and Dr. Dre, right?
Well, what's funny is one of my other jobs is a researcher for a music podcast that's done by a comedian, and we just talked about the Slim Shady LP recently, so it triggered in my mind, pulled up the outline, and the way the story goes is, after being evicted from his home, Eminem traveled to LA to participate in the Rap Olympics, an annual nationwide rap battle competition. He placed second, and staff at the Interscope Records, who attended that, sent a copy of the Slim Shady EP to the company CEO. He played it for Dr. Dre, and Dr. Dre said, in my entire career in the music industry, I've never found anything from a demo tape or a CD. When Jimmy played this, I said, find him now.
Jimmy Iovine right there. By the way, wasn't he screwed out of that competition? Wasn't the big thing surrounding that competition was most people thought that he should have won? I thought I remember something about that in the documentary.
So to follow up on that, some urged Dr. Dre not to take a chance on Eminem because he was white, and Dr. Dre's response was, I don't give a fuck if you're purple. If you can kick it, I'm working with you.
Ooh, nice language, too. Thank you very much, AB. I didn't know. Whoa, the first F-bomb there.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I forgot where he was.
It's okay. No, you know what?
But as usual, Justin brings attention to it instead of just bypassing it.
I know. My bad. No FCC right here. It's okay. You're making like it's my fault.
It is.
Thanks a lot, Rodas. You always make it like it's my fault. He's Rodas.
Be accountable. We had this discussion the other day.
Yeah, we're going to keep having that discussion. I'm going to start going back at you, and you won't like it too much.
No, I'll be good.
You play nice. You better play nice. I'm telling you there.
Nah, never.
Soon enough, gloves off here, and AB's going to have to come in between us right there. You never know. Look at me now. Oh, you didn't even see that. You got to look up, man. You always got to keep your eyes. You got to keep your eyes on the enemy, Rodas.
Right? Oh, now you're my enemy? Cool.
Ooh, Rodas, you look at me as an enemy. Come on. You absolutely do. You look at me as competition. You try to chew me up, spit me out every single show. Let's be real. Let's be real. Gloves off right here. Fetsty and Rodas with you. Let's get to our baseball preview of the day because we're going to San Diego. Ron, you ever go to San Diego before?
I have not.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, you go to San Diego Zoo. It's a good time. I was out there back in 20 years ago, 2003. So you go to the San Diego Zoo, go catch yourself a Padres game because Padres made some moves here. We're going to talk about the odds on winning World Series, winning the division, also some fantasy baseball to go along with it. Then AB, he's going to join us here, talk about hockey. We got to bring hockey with AB back before we talk NBA futures and player props as well. It is the playbook with Fetsty and Rodas here on Bettor Sports Network.
Whether you collect sports memorabilia, fantasy championships, or winning bet slips, talk about it on Bettor Sports Network.
Cha-ching, it's your boy Rick Campbell, a.k.a. Ricky Props on Bettor Sports Network. Let's go to the wood and make you some money with Kevin Durant at Chicago. Over 21.5 points tonight, minus 125. Had 23 in his first game as a Sun. I believe he's going to soar over 25 tonight. Chicago allows the 13th most points to power forwards. 2 meetings against Chicago this year, Durant has erupted for 38 points on 63% shooting. Matisse Thybulle at Atlanta, a paltry 8.5 points, minus 130. We're going over this. He's been over this number in 2 straight with 15 and 12. He's playing 35 minutes a game right now starting. Thybulle has improved his 3-point shot up to 39%, and Atlanta allows the 7th most points to the small forward position. Clint Capella in the same game, over 11.5 points, minus 115. Portland allows the most points to the center position. He's been over this number in 5 of the last 9, and he's averaging 13.3 in the last 3 meetings against Portland going back to last year. Same game, Jeremy Grant at Atlanta, over 22.5 points, minus 115. He's been over this number in 3 of 4. Simons just turned his ankle again the other night. Grant is back to being the number 2 option. Atlanta allows the 6th most points to power forwards, and Grant is a plus 1.7 on the road with his scoring average. Walker Kessler at Oklahoma City, he's going to pull over 11.5 rebounds for us, plus 100, because they're not believing in this young fella. He's been over this number in 5 of the last 6, 15, 12, 18, 14, 5, and 15, crushing it. Plus 2.8 rebounds per game at home. OKC allows the 3rd most rebounds to the center position. And in the first meeting against OKC, he had 18 boards. Ricky Props rule. Wait until about an hour and a half before tip to bang these props to make sure there's not some injury news that popped up that changed the way you're looking at it. All right, let's go to the wood for some winners here. Phoenix minus 5.5 at Chicago. The Suns are rolling. Their core 4 all played well against Charlotte. Role definition appeared to already be in place, and that's huge. Chicago is an empty carcass of a team. They're 5 games under 500, 1.5 under the play-in tournament, for the love of God. The best core 4 in the NBA will have its way with the most empty big 3 in the NBA. I got the Lakers over the Wolves tonight, late night at Crypto. It's an even spread. I love the fight in the Lakers right now. No Bron, no Davis, Schroeder on one leg. They get it done at OKC. That's been an example of how they're playing. They're 5-2 in their last 7. Minnesota's 5-7 in their last 12. And Minnesota just beat the Clippers. They're not going to sweep the LA back-to-back. They're just not going to. It's not what the Wolves do. I like the Lakers tonight. Back to the futures here. Odds to win the West. Phoenix at a plus 225. It's ticking down, folks, from a plus 235 to a plus 230. Today it's a plus 225. Tomorrow it's going to be a plus 220 or a plus 215. Get in now. The clock is ticking, folks. Denver plus 360, flush. Golden State plus 600. They have vaulted from 6 to 3 recently, but save your money. The Clippers at a plus 600, so fraudulent. Memphis at a plus 750. They just leapfrogged Dallas in recent days. Like, I'm kind of buying them as a dark horse, but don't put a ton of money on it. Dallas plus 900, don't waste your money. The Lakers at a plus 1,500, bahaha. And Sacramento at a plus 3,500. I see them, they're coming, but not yet. Get interactive with Ricky Props and Bettor Sports Network. For more NBA and college basketball betting advice, we want you to go to bettorsports.com and on demand with the Bettor Sports Network app. And you can find more content at Bettor Network on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.
Billy Mays Hayes here. Play like Mays, I run like Hayes.
Preparations for the 2023 fantasy baseball season have begun, and the playbook is taking a daily look at each team's hitting.
Straight ball, I hit it very much. Curveball, that's all Fred.
And pitching.
Of course, if the umps are watching me close, I just rub a little jalapeno inside my nose, get it running.
You put snot on the ball?
We want to win, and we brought in people to come help bring a championship. We're going to continue to do it. And that being said, yeah, I'm going to do whatever it is for this team. I'm going to do whatever it is so that they can go out there and continue to put this great team out there and keep building. You know, I think that's the best thing about this is we're going to continue to do this for a long time, and, you know, we're not going to stop.
Manny Machado now making $1 zillion there, pouting, need my extension. I want to be extended. He got his extension right there, so he's going to be hitting there for the Padres for a very, very long time. And we're getting you ready for the upcoming baseball season with the Bettor Baseball Preview, from fantasy baseball to MLB betting and the newest baseball cards for 2023. You can access our exclusive content for free right now at bettorsports.com, featuring some of the best baseball minds in the industry like Adam Ronis, Ray Flowers, Kyle Elfrink, and Cody Decker. Get player profiles, prop bets and futures, sleepers and busts, fantasy draft strategy, collectibles, and more at no cost. Please register with your name and email at bettorsports.com right now and get instant access plus notifications when new features are released. Go to bettorsports.com and sign up for the Bettor Baseball Preview. We're up to the San Diego Padres, plus 950 on DraftKings Sportsbook to win the World Series, plus 475 to win the NL, plus 125 to win the NL West, with their win total being 93.5, minus 105 on the over for that, minus 115. This is a team that last year made some noise in the playoffs too. Didn't have full success, but they did advance around Xander Bogaerts, Michael Wacha, Nelson Cruzman, some of their additions here. What did you think of the Xander Bogaerts signing?
I'm not a fan of it. I think he's a good real life player, but I think he's overvalued in fantasy. We've seen his numbers trending down the last few years, and he's had way better numbers at Fenway Park compared to the road. And now he's going to the fourth worst park for right-handed batters. So he hasn't been a big home run hitter to begin with. He had 33 home runs in 2019 when everyone was hitting home runs. That was a career high. Since then, 11 in 56 games in the shortened 2020 season, 23 and 15. So he's always been an asset in batting average, career 292. I think the batting average could take a slight hit. He doesn't run much, 8 steals last year. He hasn't had double-digit steals since 2017. It looks like, at least to start the season, he's probably going to hit leadoff. So we'll see if Tatis comes back. Does Bogaerts hit 2, 3? So he's going to be in a good spot in the order for the counting stats, but I just don't think you're going to get elite power. And I think the batting average takes a little hit. Shortstop's a deep position, so I'm avoiding Xander Bogaerts this year.
You mean he's going around, and I'm seeing the high-stakes formats here, the NFBC ADPs over the last 2 weeks, going at around the 85 mark here. I mean, other players that we got to focus on here. What are we doing with Fernando Tatis? I haven't heard much talk about him. I mean, he's going, what we're seeing on these draft boards, as a top 20 pick. Is this someone that you're going in on, or is there just too much uncertainty from the suspension injury last year as well? You worried about this guy? I know that, he's not going to be active until late April?
April 20th. He's eligible to come back from suspension.
Day after your birthday.
Yep. I know yesterday he stole a base, hit a home run, so he's been aggressive on the base pass, so I'm assuming he's healthy. I think there's concern coming off 2 wrist surgeries, a shoulder, but we all know he could be the number 1 player on a per game basis. So you're getting him second round. Maybe he moves into the first. I haven't taken him yet, but I'm kind of open to it. I definitely think there's some risk there. No question about it. So I haven't taken him yet. But we all know, again, on a per game basis, he could easily be the number 1 player in fantasy this year.
Yes. So he got popped last year. Now he's going to be missing the first few games, but shouldn't even really miss a month of action. So he'll be back, like Rona said, on the 20th there. Some of the other hitters, I mean, we're seeing Juan Soto as a first-round pick. I mean, Manny Machado and 15-teamers first-round pick as well. Have you gone in any of your leagues, or even your DCs, have you gone in on any of these heavy hitters from San Diego?
No, I actually have no Soto, no Machado. Damn, I haven't drafted a bat. Well, the only bat I drafted was Luis Campusano, who is a catcher, probably going to split with Nola, and he goes really late. So I've gotten him as like my 3rd catcher in DCs, or 4th. But yeah, no one else at this point. Are
you interested in them? Are you actively avoiding them?
I mean, no. I mean, I don't want Bogaerts. I'll take Soto. It's just I've either had a top 5 pick or 15 so far.
So, yeah, he's not going to be there.
So I haven't been able to get him. Tout, I don't know my draft order yet, but I have the 5th choice because I finished 5th last year, which is my worst finish in Tout. I've finished 5th twice. Yeah, my worst finish in Tout has been 5th twice. I've won the league 3 times. I think I finished 2nd 3 times. So yeah, I've had a lot of success.
Don't you rank in the top 5 money all time in Tout Wars?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, amazing. This is why the playbook is here, because of this guy. This guy's freaking good. Now I want to curse. This guy is freaking good when it comes to fantasy sports. We give each other a lot of crap. And during our box break, by the way, one of my friends who has been watching asked, said, you really don't like each other. That's not true. Okay. That's not true.
That's true. It's not true. We hate each other.
Yes, that's true.
That's true.
That's very true. But I respect the hell out of this guy. Always have. Reason is because what you see is what you get. There's no bull S with him. Adam Ronis is a great fantasy player. He's very competitive. And I'll be real as well about this. Makes me want to even get to that next level because you can't beat the guy. That's the problem. You can't beat him. He works too hard when it comes to his fantasy teams. His Sunday nights, he's not sitting there with his hand in his pants. Well, maybe he is, but he's not sitting there with his hand in his pants. He ain't just watching Impractical Jokers or anything. He's working on Fab. That's what he's doing for his zillion leagues. He takes this stuff very seriously. Top 5 in our industry in Tout Wars all time, man. That's a feat right there. That's amazing. Like, you've been doing this. You've probably been in these drafts, I'm guessing, for, 10, 11 years now?
I don't remember my first year at Tout. Maybe it might have been 2013, maybe?
Okay, wow. So 10 years for you then.
I got to check, but I know I have finished first 3 times, fifth twice, second 3, 6. Yeah, so it's my 9th or 10th year for sure.
Man, and the 5th is your worst finish.
Yeah.
That's incredible. What about labor?
Labor, so this is my 4th year in labor. So 2020, we did the auction in Florida. That was like a week and a half before the everything shut down. So we did the auction, and they decided to play it out since we were already down there. I was in first place every day of the season except the last 3.
Damn.
In the 60-game season, and I lost. I remember Jake Seeley telling me, "Oh man, you're running away with this. It's done." I'm like, "Nah, man." And the team just went ice cold over the last 2 weeks, and I lost. Want to finish second.
And it sucks that you barely had a season.
I know. And then 2 years ago, I finished second or third, and last year I think I finished 5th. I did last year's team. Was it last year or 2 years? Remember that was 2 months into the season. I was last place, and I worked my way up. I think that was 2 years ago.
And
I haven't won
because
I need to win labor because I've been in labor 3 times and haven't won. TGFBI, I've won my league twice. I won last year, and I think the first year I won, and then the following year they put all the champions in one league, and that was tough. But yeah, I've had success in TGFBI too. So, but yeah, I need to win labor then to get the trifecta.
And that's, I'm sure, very appreciative because a lot of these industry players, if they're in last place by midseason, they're not setting their lineups.
Nah, they're done. They're just giving up. And
ruins the league. It's an industry league.
Yeah, I'll never do that, man. No matter what,
it's unacceptable.
I'll never finish last place in an industry league. It's never going to happen.
Right.
I'd have to have the entire team be injured.
Yeah.
And then, the one thing with Tout is they penalize you fab. If you finish just below a certain threshold, you lose fab. So when you look at the fab, if you're doing the draft for Tout, you're like, oh, why is this guy 6'6", have 660 or whatever? It's because he sucked the previous year. So
they take it away from you.
Yeah, they do. I mean,
wow.
I like it. It's incentive not to perform poorly. Now, if you're not coming back the next year, then that's kind of messed up, right? But
how many teams are penalized in a league? Is it just last place?
It's based on if you finish below a certain number. I don't know if it's a fixed number or is it changed from year to year. I mean, again, right. I haven't had to deal with it, so I could care less because I know it's not going to happen to me. But let me. Do they have it up on the site yet?
I'm guessing it's a league median or something like that.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah,
it's some median, but I don't think they've put it up on the site yet. From what let me see, because mine is coming up. Mixed draft 15. I don't see it yet. So, but you'll see. They'll put it out, and you'll see some people not having $1,000. Oh wait, they do have it. Okay. So in my league, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that do not have the full $1,000.
Wow, damn. That's how.
So yeah, I won in 2015, 2016, and 2021.
Nice. Look at you with the titles right there. Very good. No, you get it, man. It's kind of like your home fantasy basketball league. You just know what to do. You know how to
the lowest amount of fab in my league is 780. Someone has 780 out of 1,000. No, 760, 780, 800, 900, 940. Those are the ones that do not have 1,000.
Are there $0 bids allowed in these leagues?
Yes, in tout.
Okay.
Yes. Not in labor is $100 fab with no $0 bids. So you got to be really sharp there.
Wow. Come on, you can zero. You got. I mean, towards the end, everybody has, you have to save some. Then,
yeah, you do. You have to be a lot more careful with that. You know, the $1 bids that are not throwaway bids. You better make sure that that is a player you want.
Right. Damn, $100. That's it. Let's circle back to the Padres here on the pitching front. I mean, Yu Darvish last year, nearly 200 strikeouts, a 3.1 ERA. Then you had Musgrove with 184 strikeouts, a sub-3 ERA. Snell over 170 strikeouts last year. Any of these pitchers that you're looking at that you like? I know a lot of it, and obviously you know this, but for everybody else out there, a lot of what we talk about, it's relevant to how the roster is constructed. But when it comes to active draft targets, are there any of these pitchers that you're going in on or you're planning on going in on?
I like Darvish. I haven't landed him yet. I've always been a big Yu Darvish fan. I think Musgrove is becoming cheap, and I kind of regret not taking him in TGFBI because it's a toe. It's not an arm. He might only miss 2-3 starts, man. Right. So let me see where he went because I think he went. I kind of regret not taking it. I've tried to be a little cautious with injuries. I especially this early. I don't want to start the season with injuries because
doesn't look like it's been diagnosed as turf toe.
Yeah, no. He just dropped the weight on it. So,
right. Who does that? Who does?
It can happen, bro.
I know it can happen. It's just when it does, it's like, who does that?
I mean, freak accidents happen.
1,000%. I mean,
so he went last pick round 11, man. I should have taken him in round 11. I regret that because I had 3 starters at that point. To get Musgrove in round 11 as my SP4, I should have did it. I regret that.
What stopped you? Was it the injury?
The injury, yeah. I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to start the season with an injury, but he could be back late April, early May.
True.
And you fill in for him. So I think if he goes too cheap, I'm interested. Blake Snell is tricky. Did I take him in one? I definitely considered him in a league. He was really good in the second.
He walks a decent amount of players, right?
But he was really good in the second half. His walk rate has always been a problem, but he overcomes it with his ridiculous strikeout rate. I mean, he's had a strikeout rate of at least 30.9%, 5 straight years. His whip is kind of what hurts you. It was 1.20 last year. It's not terrible. But yeah, if he just could improve that walk rate, he'd be really good. The other factor with him is you just can't pencil in a lot of innings. He hasn't thrown over 150 innings since 2018. The last 2, he's been 128. Part of it is he throws a lot of pitches in his starts, the days where he walks batters. But I think in the right roster build, I'm interested in taking him. He's on a good team. You got to look at that. Wins should be plentiful for him. But he had a really strong finish to last year. I think looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of his last 7 starts, 1 earned run or fewer. And he went 6-7 innings in a lot of those starts. So there's going to be volatility from him. But I think since you're getting him in the double-digit rounds, and you could probably get him as a SP3 or 4 in a 15-team league, I'm open to it. But again, a lot's going to depend on the roster build. So I think if you go heavy pitching, if you go a couple of elite stars early, I think you can offset his whip and maybe lack of innings in that type of build. Like you don't want to get him as your SP2.
Sure. What about at the tail end, getting like a Michael Wacha?
I took him in a draft Champions League. I'm not really enthralled about it, but he was buried because he didn't have a team. So draft champions where, 50 rounds. He's a guy that's going to give you some innings. He doesn't get you elite strikeouts. I think the 3.32 ERA from last year is very misleading, even if it came in Boston. He allows a lot of contact. He doesn't get a lot of Ks. But he can give you a pretty good whip. And again, he's on the Padres. So this is one of the top offenses, although it's very top heavy. I think it dies out at the bottom. There's a lot of question marks at the bottom of that lineup. I mean, guys that could come through, but a lot of questions. And then you got Nick Martinez transitioning to the rotation, Seth Lugo as well. They talked about going with a 6-man rotation. So you got to keep an eye on the pitch count. Like, I don't know how it's going to work for Lugo, man. I thought he was really good in the bullpen. I understand why he wants to start, wants to get more money, but he's been in the bullpen the last couple of years.
You notice that as well, too. So Seth Lugo, now a member of the Padres here. So we'll see what happens with this team overall. I mean, you think that they have a good chance to win the World Series?
Yeah, I do. They made the run last year without Tatis. I mean, once you get into – I'm a little concerned about their rotation over the whole season, especially now with Musgrove down to start the year. But you saw what they did in the playoffs, man. If they have Darvish, Musgrove, and Snell, that is a really good top three. And they got some great arms in the bullpen. Josh Hader struggled most of last year, but finished strong, dealt with a little personal issue. So I think that affected him. I mean, he's always had issues with walks, but I think Hader is fine and will bounce back, have him as a top 5 closer. Suarez, Luis Garcia, Palmer, they have some good arms out of the pen, and this team's going to go for it, man. They're not going to play around. They'll make a move. So they definitely have a shot for sure. They can win a division with some of the issues the Dodgers have right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, those odds to win the division are plus 125 right now to win the NL West. I just saw it there on DraftKings Sportsbook. So this is a team last year, unfortunately, took our Mets out of the playoffs. Was very, very frustrating. You blame that more on the Mets, or was just the Padres pitching everything just like they couldn't be stopped? Like, who would you blame, like, that series with the Mets?
I think it's both. I think the Mets have offensive flaws. There's no question about it. And I don't know if the Mets did anything to improve it. I mean, the lineup's basically the same. So right. I don't see how it's better. But no, those pitchers are lights out, man. I mean, Musgrove was unhittable. He might have been cheating, but I don't know. His ears did look very, very sharp.
They were so red.
Right? It's insane.
They were swollen with something on them. I'll tell you that much. Red Rum, I think, might have been agreeing with that here. Red Rum, what's up, Red Rum? How you doing, man? Blame it on the beignet. There you go.
Yeah, you don't want to read his first comment, though, right?
No, it's okay. I mean, no, Musgrove was greasy.
Can you tell he's my friend?
Yes, I can tell he's your friend. Absolutely. Musgrove was greasy balls. Thank you very much, Red Rum.
And then, yeah, but Darvish is so good. I've always loved Darvish, man. He's just big fan of him. So, and their bullpen arms were really good, man. Everyone coming in throwing 100. So, but man, no, they lost. I mean, the Mets didn't pitch well either. I mean, Trent Grisham was hitting bombs.
That's right.
Guy did nothing all year.
Right.
Hit like 150, and then he's like a Hall of Famer against the Mets.
Yeah. Now I'm just thinking about Musgrove getting his ears touched and everything like that. That his ears were really red, man. There's something.
There was reports that there was more spin on his curveball and everything, but I mean, yeah, he got them out, man. You got to give him credit.
For sure. He's Ronas. I'm Fensty. We'll continue talking about different MLB teams as we go around the majors. But for now, let's bring in our producer, Adam Bernard here. It's time for Hockey with AB. What has he got cooking tonight? A little bit of a shorter slate of games here, but let's talk about the trade deadline as well. Maybe AB could be Professor Resource and give us few grades based on the trade deadline. What happened? We saw some big names move. Let's conclude it when we come back here and talk about the fallout of the trade deadline and maybe some bets and props for tonight's NHL action. And then it's all NBA the rest of the way. Hit us up in the chat as well. We'll say hi, make you famous here on BSN, as it is the playbook with Fensty and Ronas. We're powered by fantasyalarm.com, where you can find all of our work and you can hear and see us right here on Bettor Sports Network.
Make bets and follow your fantasy team where you buy, sell, and trade collectibles in real time. Only on Bettor Sports Network.
As a longtime baseball fan, here's my message to other baseball fans, to steal a line from the Packers' future Hall of Fame quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, RELAX. Everyone needs to relax after what we saw this past weekend at spring training games out in Arizona and down in Florida. got going, and we're inching closer and closer to Major League Baseball opening day. The rule changes in Major League Baseball is not for myself. It's not for you out there, the hardened baseball fan, whether you're a fan 5, 10, 15, 30, or even 50 years. From all around this great country. It's not for those that are going to be locked in. It's for trying to generate more fans. So if they want the pitcher to go out there and work in rhythm with a guy on base, begin the windup within 20 seconds, nobody on base, begin the windup within 15 seconds, or have the batter make sure that he's back in the batter's box within 8 seconds, then making the base pass first, second, and third bigger, eliminating the shift. All of this is to make the game better. We've seen leagues, whether it be the National Football League, do they get to the same league as it is today in 2023, or what we saw in 2022 as it was 30 years ago? No, it's not. Is NBA basketball the same? No. How many games do you see being played? 83-79 finals. You don't see that at all. So every league adjusts to try and bring what? More fans into the sport. And that is something that Major League Baseball is going out there and trying to do. I've been critical at times of Rob Manfred, whether or not as a MLB commissioner, whether he likes the sport based on some of the rhetoric that he has spewed in years gone by. But I got to be honest with you, as a longtime baseball fan, I've been a Yankee fan my entire life. Watched a ton of Met games here in the tri-state area. Watched baseball all around. Can't wait for October baseball. Think it's absolutely unbelievable what is transpiring now and what's happening now, and the rule changes being brought about baseball. It's going to bring back to the game to when I became a fan, where the stolen base was something, moving guys over was something, having men on base, batting averages ascending, not being an all or nothing league where either you're striking out or hitting the ball over the fence. And that is what baseball is trying to do. So as everybody tries to adjust, and change is difficult, whether you're changing your diet, exercise routine, changing your relationships, changing a job, change is different. I get that. And it's hard. But let's take a step back. Let's understand what Major League Baseball is trying to do here. And they're trying to repopulate or repopularize the sport. That's what they're trying to do. They're clearly the third most popular sport in the United States. They want to make it less regionalized. This is the way they need to go about doing it. I'm all for it. For more content like this, download the Bettor Sports Network app or go to bettorsports.com.
First game as a Ranger, it was a pretty cool experience. Obviously, I would have liked to play a little bit better and come out with a win, but hopefully it'll come. I think I haven't played in a little bit, so maybe a little bit rusty, but excited to get feeling good with this team.
However you're invested in sports, from betting to fantasy, collectibles, and more, join our community on Bettor Sports Network.
That's got to be Kane. Patrick Kane there on the Rangers now, talking about, unfortunately, lost to Ottawa. Has been scored a lot of goals over the last few games, by the way. 5-3.
Wait, I have a question. That beat, I've heard it from a few people. I know Jada Kiss did a freestyle over that diss and 50 Cent. Who had the original beat, though?
I was trying to even remember what song that was.
The song is Checkmate. I can't answer anything about it.
Yeah, it was Jada Kiss.
Yes,
but
I don't know.
But that was the beat he used for that song, or did someone else use it?
Let me see if
I feel like it was someone else used it. It was someone else's beat, and then Jada did a freestyle over it, dissing 50 Cent.
Wow.
Big Noid featuring Havoc's Air It Out.
Okay, yeah. It had to be because that beat's hot. Mobb Deep beat, definitely. Okay. But yeah, Jada Kiss freestyled over that. Dissing 50 Cent.
You a big Jadakiss fan, Ron?
Yeah, I met him actually too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's pretty short.
He does. Yeah, he does the thing where he goes.
Yeah, nah, he's really good. A lot of people respect him. A lot of people consider him a top lyricist. I definitely like him.
Let's see, Jadakiss songs. Oh, the one that goes K-I-S.
See, again, you like all the R&B.
I do, stuff. Man. That's where
I like the hardcore stuff.
But then you had New York, which is Ja Rule and Jadakiss. But he's in that.
I like Money, Power, Respect with the Locks. That one, The Champ Is Here, stuff like that, man.
The Champ Is Here. That's right. I remember The Champ Is Here.
And then he's got a good one with Gangstar, Right Where You Stand, because Gangstar Guru is one of my favorite hip hop artist ever. He's one of the best. Then Run with Ghostface. He's got a lot of bangers.
Were you a Scarface guy?
Yeah.
You were. See, man, that's just you go deep, man. You go mob deep when it comes to your
Mobb Deep is definitely one of the best.
Yeah, like like for me growing up, it was a lot of that topsoil. We were talking about Eminem, topsoil, Dre, topsoil, Snoop, topsoil. You went down a bedrock though, I feel like, with the hip hop that you like. Was that just always how you were? Like you just kind of went against mainstream and you went with some of the more underground guys at the start?
Probably, yeah. Because I feel like a lot of the true lyricists don't get radio play. I mean, we could talk about it a different day, but there's a reason why certain people make it to the top. It's not based on talent. There's a lot of underlying factors, and people have to do things to move up to the top. If you dig deep and you've done your research, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, back in the 50s and the 60s, I mean, the mafia would threaten the DJs and say, "You're playing this." And
I mean, Papoose told his story. He kept going to Hot 97 every week because DJ K-Slay used to have a radio show at midnight and play the new artist. And Papoose kept going, give him his tape, and K-Slay kept pulling him away. He was getting pissed at him. He said they almost got into it, and he kept pursuing it. And then finally K-Slay's like, yeah, this guy's good. And they started to work together on mixtapes.
Was there a reason he was rejecting Papoose at first?
I don't remember. I don't think it was because of the music, but there was an issue because I saw Papoose talk about it recently because K-Slay passed away from COVID complications was it a year ago now? Or in the last year? That was his guy. But he had said that, yeah, someone had to intervene and separate them from a physical altercation.
Wow.
Because it got like that. But, he was just kept pursuing it because
he wouldn't even call. He'd physically go to the studio.
Yeah, he'd go to the studio and wait for him to come out.
Jeez. I can imagine that happened a lot too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and because Papoose was like, oh, my God, this guy's playing new artists. He's like, there was no way to get on back then if you didn't have a connection. So he's like, let me go give him my tape. And eventually, obviously, they worked together and he put out all the mixtapes with K-Slay.
What do you think was more popular, Hot 97 in the New York area, the tri-state area, Hot 97 or Power 105.1?
Which had 97. And then I forgot what was the Underground with Stretch Armstrong and Bobbito. It was like 90 something. That's where Jay-Z had a famous freestyle with Big L.
And you're a Big L fan.
Big L's one of my top 5, not even close. I wish he didn't pass away. I would have loved to see how far he went. I mean, Jay-Z, they were about to sign him to Rockefeller before he passed.
And you're a big pun guy too. Big pun forever.
Big pun too. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you like a lot of that underground stuff. We had one time on another show, we did an underground hip hop.
Yeah, that was just an embarrassing draft for you. And who was it, Wags?
Yeah. I mean, because remember, it just shows our age because for me, I was choosing like 3-6 Mafia. And I did choose Digital Underground though, which I thought was good. I mean, you like Digital Underground, right? They weren't even underground though. They were mainstream though, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was way more underrated. Did one of you try to put Ludacris on the list?
I didn't.
I'm like, come on, he's not underrated. I love Luda. I actually love Luda a lot.
I mean, come on, the Word of Mouth, Chicken and Beer albums, so excellent albums, both of those. But
I don't like many artists outside of New York, to be honest. But Luda is definitely one of the best outside of New York.
Yeah. I remember in that draft I took 3-6 Mafia, and you gave me a little bit of crap for that. But I like 3-6.
Oh, you know what? I probably have the list. It's definitely on my Instagram.
Oh, dude.
I know I had let's see, Adam seems like he knows some hip hop. Adam, Digging in the Crates?
No, I don't know that one.
Okay.
No.
That's one of the best rap groups. Big L, Showbiz AG, Lord Finesse, Diamond D, Fat Joe, OC. That was one of the best rap groups ever. So that's why I put them on that list. We did that during the pandemic, right?
We did. We wanted to do something different, so we did an underrated hip hop draft, and it was great because
it was so my picks, Justin's and Josh Wagner's were so different. Here's the list. I'll read it out. So Here's mine: Big L, Papoose, Cool G Rap, one of the best ever. Digging in the Crates, J. Rue the Damager, AZ, Immortal Technique, and Pharoah Monch. Fensty, 3-6 Mafia, Ja Rule. Are you kidding me? The dude is mainstream as hell. Will Smith, Big Pun, who I don't think he's underrated, but I don't think he got enough to. Mike Jones, Bubba Sparks, the Saint Lunatics, and Chingy, who is garbage. Garbage. And then
Wait,
Wags.
wait. You said Bubba Sparks?
Yeah, bro. That's the head on the list. Like, are you kidding me? And then Wags had Mac Miller, Kid Cudi, 2 Chainz, Isaiah Rashad, Little Dicky, who can't spit, Young Thug, J-Rock, and Schoolboy Q. I mean, come on, man. It was one of the most ridiculous drafts I've ever been a part of. But I guess it does also show the disparate ages in the different raps. I was sitting there like, this is crazy, bro.
Jiggy, yeah, a little right there, 1 call away. Come on.
Even Red Rum said Fetsy had one of the most embarrassing lists of all time.
Oh,
definitely.
come on. Red Rum's probably 100 years old.
He's not. He's my age. And
so he's 90.
We appreciate real lyrics, okay? Not this commercial garbage where you don't rhyme about anything. Hip-hop's about lyrics and storytelling and battling. The guys that I mentioned are all lyricists. It's not just, what are you basing it on? Beats? And can you buy? I mean, because that's not, to me, that I don't judge based on that.
I judge the combination. That was my argument with you during the draft. And part of it, because I was a producer.
You put Ja Rule on a list like that?
All right, well, back then, you could have just trumped me on that and said, no, he's not allowed, but you let it pass and you let it through. And I would have trusted you.
I must have had a momentary lapse because, I mean, he's not even... I mean, his best stuff for me is when he's with Ashanti. But
right,
because
of course.
I love her.
But that's because of Ashanti, not because of him. So I love Ja Rule. I saw Ja Rule in concert. Awesome concert. It was a lot of fun back in 2018. Listen, come on. You know what? You know what, Red Rum? Listen, you might be 90 years old like Ronus here, but I'm sitting here as a 36-year-old dude. So the early 2000s was my jam there. 3-6 Mafia, by the way, they're good. Come on. 3-6 Mafia is good.
Yeah, someone commented, Pun isn't underrated. He gets his dude. Yeah, there were some comments here. Chingy, LMAO. I agree. I can't believe you put Chingy on the list.
I can't believe I did that too. We must have shown up like drunk or something to that show or something like that there. So listen, hey, it's final round pick, Mr. Irrelevant. Chingy right there. The Snoop Dogg Chingy. Holiday Inn.
Yeah, that's like one of his big hits. I mean,
he had 1 call away. Holiday Inn, Right There was his biggest hit. I would have to say. Right There. I like the way you do it. Right There.
He really he had like what, 1 or 2 albums? That's it.
Yeah, in the mid 2000s,
and only because he was affiliated, I guess, with Luda, right?
And I mean, Snoop Dogg too was helping him out a little bit as well.
Amazing how some people just disappear, man.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. It's funny because when I went to this concert a couple of years ago, they all of a sudden brought out Jaquan. Nelly brought out
another garbage one.
Yeah, it's like
what was his song?
Tipsy.
Yeah,
Deep
God, that was like one of the worst.
But I got a fake ID though.
Oh my God! He only had one song, right? Jaquan,
dude.
Is that his only song?
Yes, it is. They bring out Jaquan during this concert. I pop, man. I'm like, whoa, Tipsy, let's go. And everyone else is like, who the hell is this guy at the concert? AB, you ready for some hockey, my friend?
I mean, this is way better than any hockey talk. Finding out you took Bubba Sparks in that draft alone. We can talk hockey next week.
Dude, oh my God.
He had Ugly. He had also Deliverance, which is a really good song. Deliverance by Bubba Sparks is a very good song. That when I saw
the movie, have 1 album, 2?
He probably had 2.
Oh man!
But come on. By the way, Mike Jones, you've quoted Mike Jones a lot,
and he's not underrated.
Oh,
he had a couple of things that are memorable. That's not underrated.
I didn't pick Lil Flip. Remember Lil Flip? Game over. By the way, I never understood why closers never use that song, Game Over by Lil Flip. I mean, it makes sense.
Well, I mean,
it just makes it. See, this is why. And by the way, the beats and everything, it's because I was a producer all those years. That's why. So it's the whole encompassing package of a song that I judge rather than just the lyrics. You're more into the lyrics. That's you.
I mean, I like beats too. I mean, again, Digging in the Crates has some of the best beats. Mobb Deep, Havoc,
Immortal Technique. There's that one song. Oh man, what's it with the Pinocchio? They've sampled the Pinocchio song. I Got No Strings. I'll have to find out which song that
He's
is.
a ridiculous lyricist.
Yeah, and that's one song by Immortal Technique. Oh man, I just had an AB.
He does a lot of political stuff too.
Man, what was the Freedom of Speech? That's what it was called. The song Freedom of Speech. It samples the Pinocchio I've Got No Strings song. AB, let's talk some hockey here, my man. So the trade deadline, it's passed. You went over throughout the week some of the major players that were traded here. So overall, I mean, which teams would you say won the trade deadline, and we can see start and move up the standings a little bit more?
I don't know if there's a clear cut, like this team really won the trade deadline. I mean, New Jersey, you have to mention them because they got Timo Meier, and he was one of the biggest fish out there. And once he's healthy, and Jack Hughes returned recently, so I mean, they're going to be a team that's scary to watch down the stretch. Pittsburgh was kind of on the fence of that wild card spot, and they made moves to kind of shore themselves up kind of below the radar. Boston, again, we talked about yesterday, David Pastrnak, that big contract extension, and they really just added arms for the playoffs. So they're, I would say, a winner. Toronto, I know every year people are like, oh, they're not going to get out of the first round, or they're not going to make a deep run, or whatever the case is. But I think they actually might have gotten it right this time with who they've acquired, the areas they shored up. So that's a team that, everybody loves to beat on crap on the Maple Leafs, but I think that this might be the year they might have gotten it right.
What are you looking at for bets tonight?
Tonight, I don't love 5-game slate, nothing really appetizing. In Seattle, Columbus, I keep going back and forth because it's a classic trap game scenario for Columbus to take advantage of, with Seattle playing their third game in 4 nights on the road. And they play at Colorado on Sunday, so they have the look-ahead game there, and they're Kraken have won 2 in a row. So they could ride that wave from yesterday's big win over Detroit. So if you think the trap game is the way you want to go, then Columbus plus 140 at BetMGM or Caesars. If you think the Kraken continue to roll on, they're at plus 152 on the puck line at FanDuel. Montreal at even money tonight at Anaheim on BetMGM or Caesars isn't bad, but that's also one of those games where you're placing your money in a game with 2 of the worst teams in the league. Montreal has been playing better hockey as of late than Anaheim, so I would take a shot there, but there's nothing I really like tonight.
I'm sorry I keep almost cracking up over you, Bernard. I just saw your comment in the chat about Bubba Sports. Beach Boys would have been a better pick.
Am I wrong?
Beach Boys are always over everyone. The best band in America ever. The Beach Boys. I said it. You want hot takes? There you go right there. Red Rum, you're old as hell. You probably love the Beach Boys too.
He's barely older than you, bro. How old are you again?
You don't even
You're
know
like 34, 35?
36, just turned 30.
Oh, dude, we're not even that much older than you.
You guys have like almost a decade on me. Is he your age?
Yeah, I'm older than him by a few months, like 4 or 5 months. I'm April, he's July.
Yeah, almost a decade. Almost a decade for sure.
But I look younger than you.
In the face, no.
In the face, yes. It's all about
No. Take your glasses off for a second. Okay?
I look younger.
No, you do not. Okay.
Yes,
no, you do not. Let us know in the comments right now. Who by the face, just by the face, looks younger between me and Ronas? Let us know right now in the comment section. Bernard, before we ask him more hockey questions, let's be real here, Bernard. Who looks younger in the face?
In the face, I mean, no. Let's be honest. I haven't seen Ronas in person since probably 2016. And you, I don't even think I've ever seen in person.
You see us though.
Yeah,
but you got filters on.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you are. You're like
you think I know how to put filters on IBS?
Yeah, I think you do.
No, I don't. Okay.
I'm gonna say Fensty has got the slight edge, younger in the face, but you're also way older in the soul. So
yeah, definitely, he's definitely got an older soul for sure.
I do. That I can't deny. And the hairline, that's the no contest.
The fact that it's even debatable when I'm so much older than you, that's not good for you.
Just take the L, okay?
That's
Big
no L.
Take the L.
He said slightly.
Okay, so you lost. It's okay.
I didn't lose. You're supposed to look younger than me. You are younger than me.
You're the one that says I'm old. You look older than me.
I don't think I look that much older than you.
Not that much. No, you don't. I mean, you're not like some of your other former co-hosts there. Not that old or anything like that. But
I mean, neither of you guys are doing like oil of Olay commercials anytime soon. Let's just be clear on that.
Yeah, but I don't use any substances.
Oh, wow.
I don't.
He's all natural then.
I'm all natural, man.
I'm not using anything. What am I using? I mean, you guys have seen blemishes and stuff like that. Yeah. Anthony Rivera, the river card coming in right here. The Task the Tech team about filters on our app here, IBS. Oh, man. It's funny, Ron. You put filters on. And I'm like, oh, there's a way to put
I've
filters.
never
I've never used a filter before. I never. What you see is what you get. You don't like it, shut it off right there and go watch something else. That's all I can say. This is the way God made me, all right? Anything else you like in hockey, Bernard?
I mean, just not from tonight. I mean, moving forward, looking at the Pacific Division, if you wanted to take a look at Vegas or LA to win there. I mean, Vegas is the favorite. LA is not a bad play right now. They're plus 400. I would look at that in the Pacific. I think Vegas probably wins, but with the Kings, they have a shot here.
So is it still possible because of these stupid formats that hockey has for the playoffs, it is possible that the Hurricanes and the Bruins can meet in the conference finals, right?
Yeah, as long as they both finish first, they would not have a chance at meeting before the conference finals.
Who do you think wins at this point with what you know right now? Who do you think wins that series?
Boston, Carolina.
Yes.
I'm on Carolina they kind of have this vibe that Colorado had last year where they're on a mission. They know they've got a team that's built well for the playoffs. They're clearly doing well. They're the second best team in the conference. I mean, Boston's having a ridiculous year at 101 points and Carolina's 15 points back at 86. But I don't know. I just have this feeling that Boston is this team that they're so dominant and they're so good that they're going to get picked off in the playoffs. Some people like to say that they're a top-heavy team with one line. That is not true. They have two of the best top lines in the league the way they're playing right now. But, it's just Boston is the easy pick to go all the way. I like the way Carolina would match up against Boston. I think Carolina is coming out of the East. And I would even go as far as to saying probably winning the Cup this year. That's my pick right now. We'll see what happens over the next 2 months. But
I mean, that's why I asked it too, because I'm trying to think if there's any team that could take out these tough Boston Bruins. I mean, this Hurricanes team, they're kind of in the rearview mirror, not right up on them, but still they've been right there too. So that's something that would be an exciting series if we saw that. Thank you very much as always for the hockey content. AB, our producer, Adam Bernard knows music. He knows reptiles. He knows how to produce good shows. And he knows hockey as well. All-encompassing multi-position eligibility is Adam Bernard. We're getting you ready for the upcoming baseball season with the Bettor Baseball preview. From fantasy baseball to MLB betting and the newest baseball cards for 2023. You can access our exclusive content for free right now at bettorsports.com, featuring some of the best baseball minds in the industry like Adam Ronis, my co-host here, Ray Flowers, Kyle Elfrink, and Cody Decker. Get player profiles, prop bets, and future sleepers and busts, fantasy draft strategy, collectibles, and more at no cost. Please register with your name and email at bettorsports.com right now and get instant access plus notifications when new features are released. Let me just put this out there. It's not instant access to Adam Ronis. It's instant access to the preview and all that Bettor Sports Network involves, Ron. I have to tell your fan base that because they all want a piece of you. You know that.
Yeah, they can jump in the DMs. That's if they want.
Yeah, was that a bunch of boos that we just heard right there?
I don't know what.
I don't know.
Yeah, that didn't come through the way it was supposed to, but yeah, that's what I was going.
Was that a boo?
Swing and a miss.
I thought the plane door just opened up on our flight here or something like that. Go to bettorsports.com and sign up for the Bettor Baseball preview. Let's talk some NBA. We've been having a lot of fun. But hey, Eminem, this is all the trending's fault here. Eminem has been trending literally all day. Both of us love hip-hop. So you're going to get a little entertainment over the sport sometimes. Sorry, not sorry. He's Ronis. I'm almost said he's Fensty. I'm Ronis. No, I'm Fensty. He's Ronis. It is the Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, powered by FantasyAlarm.com here on Bettor Sports Network.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com. Talk about your picks and your fantasy teams on Bettor Sports Network.
The importance of checking out the site that you're playing on. Default rankings of these sites. A lot of times they don't get updated. I know from experience. I used to write default rankings for the NFBKC, the basketball version of the NFBC. I'd write these default rankings in June for the NBA, before the NBA draft, before free agency opened up. And guess what? I was never asked to write an update article or update the default rankings. This happens a lot. Maybe if there's something obvious, it gets updated. Aaron Judge, for some reason, hurts his back. Maybe they make that change. Just maybe. But you don't know that. And that's why it's just so important that you show up to your draft room or you do that pre-draft prep. We're all busy. We know we're about to devote a lot of time to our fantasy baseball drafts. Why not spend the extra 20 to 25 minutes to invest properly in your team, to go and see which of those players are way down default rankings? They're going to be different on all of these sites, and you're going to be looking at them and going, maybe their analysts think a certain player who shouldn't be in the top 100, who should be maybe even not even the top 200, will be in that top 100. You got to check that out. You got to know where you're playing, just like you got to know your format when you sign up for the league. It's just so crucial, and people just skip right over it. You think it's cool to show up to the draft room 3 minutes before the draft. Well, number one, it's not cool because the commissioner's trying to make sure it is organized, especially me, who runs auctions. You can't, it's one thing if someone doesn't show up for the snake draft, oh well, doesn't ruin it for everyone. Auctions, you can't have someone not show up. Auto bidding, auto auctioning, it ruins the sanctity of those drafts here, which is why I always recommend, hey, make it easy on your commissioner. Don't make them send those texts there. It's annoying. You shouldn't have to do that. Don't wait till the last minute and get in there about 20, 25 minutes before so you can just look up and down the entire default rankings list so you can make a queue out of that, Ron. And the reason I keep saying this is because people still show up 2-3 minutes before the draft, and that's it. In fact, in one of my auctions, people were asking me where certain players were, and I go, did you search their name? No, I just got in. Well, that's no excuse right there. That's your own fault. I mean, you're organized, so you're a hard person to ask here.
You're getting those questions. This is your preschool league, right? People don't know how to search player names.
People freak out. They don't think. That's the problem. Because they show up 2 minutes before the draft. That's why.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on Bettor Sports Network.
Got a little present for you. Something that'll make you rich. You want to be rich, don't you?
You're going to make me rich? Here's Curry splitting the double team, getting to the cup with the lay-in.
Once again, you did your work.
Middleton backs up, forces a three-pointer, no good. Got it in! Giannis at the buzzer! Tie game, and we've got overtime.
It's time for Fensty and Ronis to look at the remainder of the NBA season and give you their best bets for division champs, conference champs, and more.
All you got to do is bet on the winner, and you'll never lose.
Fensty and Ronis back with you here on Bettor Sports Network. Going to talk a little futures action here for a few minutes, and then we're going to get to some props for tonight's action here. Ron, at this point, if you're betting on the NBA champion, is there anybody else that comes to mind besides the Milwaukee Bucks? You've been on them the entire season. They look ready to roll over here. Do you think that there's any other team that you'd have as much confidence in right now? I mean, do you think that Phoenix over the next few weeks gets to that level in the mind of the Ronis?
Yeah, I think Phoenix has a shot. I think Boston has a shot too. I mean, they're the favorites though, so you're not getting the value plus 280 on them. Suns are plus 425. And Nuggets got a shot too. They're plus 750. How are the Clippers plus 1200?
That's a good question.
Dude, they're terrible with Westbrook right now, bro. That game was so frustrating last night because I had a 9-leg parlay and I hit all 5 in the Sixer Mav game. And Paul George, actually Klay Thompson, I needed to score 20, he scored 19, but I needed Paul George to get 20. And what he finished with 13, and he kept chucking threes. Westbrook was terrible. I needed 6 assists from Westbrook. He got it.
You see what they did to Westbrook?
Man, they just let him, dude, and he was chucking and missing. That team is a prop. They got some issues. So I don't know how they're plus 1,200. They're the same as the Warriors. That makes no sense to me.
I just don't. I don't believe in the Clippers. I don't. I mean, do they have the defensive talent? Absolutely. Do they have good wings? They've got some of the best in this league.
I mean, and they're falling. I mean, no Kawhi tonight. and they're big dogs. The last I saw was 7. Did it go down further with Kawhi out?
Let's see where they're at.
They're in the play-in tournament right now.
Yeah, I mean they're dealing with a few injuries here.
Yeah, Morris is out,
and Powell hurt himself too. He was in a sling after last night.
Yeah, so they're gonna make me take. I was about to drop an F-bomb like Bernard.
We're still on the air. So
I was gonna because they're gonna make me take Paul George props tonight again.
Clippers are 7-point dogs, by the way, to the Kings.
Yeah. I mean, who would have thought that if I told you before the year the Clippers are going to be 7-point dogs to the Sacramento Kings in March?
I would not have thought that. I really wouldn't have. 239.5 total on that game here. We'll go over one division for futures, then take another box break, and then we'll get back to the props here again. Looking at some of these NBA futures, we generally do this on lighter nights, but we got to keep.
We got 10 games tonight.
We do have 10 games. We'll just go over. I mean, that we just had that nice piece of production made by AB. Let's talk about the Eastern Conference very quickly. The Philadelphia 76ers, man. I don't know what to make of them at this point. I just don't think that they can beat Boston or Milwaukee. I want to give them more credit. Joel Embiid's awesome. They've got the talent to do so. But, man, we even saw it. The Dallas guards last night were just completely cutting them up. And I thought that they'd be able to contain it. I actually took the Sixers +3. And for a while, it looked like it had no shot. Dallas was just killing, but Philly was still shooting well. I just don't know, man. I don't think that Philly is going to the championship. I don't even know if they're going to the Eastern Conference Finals, man. For a while, I was telling you that it's a 3-team race. I think I'm down to 2 in this conference, bro.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we don't get Bucks Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. I just don't see how we don't. I think the West is way more wide open, and I could see Suns getting there, Denver getting there, the Warriors getting there. Again, why are the Clippers 4th here? Man,
they've been getting the love and the respect from the books.
I guess with Kawhi and George, but I know it's only 4 games, but they're 0-4 with Westbrook there. They're going to have to make a change. I don't know if they could keep starting him.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, what, they go back to Terrence Mann? Is that what you do? Or you go to Eric? Maybe you start Eric Gordon. What if you start Eric Gordon?
He's been shaky too.
You got to start someone.
Man, I kind of, as we go on, I feel like there's less teams that can win a title now.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there's maybe, I'd say 5 the most.
The trade deadline took care of the Nets.
I mean, but we wouldn't have put them in the title.
No, I would have maybe put them if they were playing like they were playing and none of the drama ever happened.
Yeah, they were playing very well. They could have
their defense was shut down. They had good balance. They didn't even have Kevin Durant, and they were winning these games. And then Kyrie screwed it all up and made them blow things up.
I'd say it's Bucks, Celtics, Suns, Denver, maybe Golden State.
I agree with you on that.
Right?
I agree.
I don't see Memphis. I don't see the Clippers. I don't see Dallas. I mean, the Lakers are +1,500 to come out of the West, and the Kings are +3,500. Look at the standings. I mean, boy, the Kings get no respect. But I think we all agree that, look, they're fun to watch, but
their offense is good. Very good.
I mean, let's see. So right now, I can't believe they're still the 3. That is just amazing. So they would play. I mean, you know what? They would play Dallas in the first round. They might lose that series.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with that series, it doesn't mean that the next series, either of those teams are out.
I wonder if the Kings and Mavericks played today, would the Kings be favored to win the series? No, right? They wouldn't be. Based on these odds, how would they be favored, even with home court? They wouldn't be.
I guess not.
I mean, if Dallas is +900 to come out of the West and the Kings are +3,500, they're telling you that Dallas would be favored to win the series.
Right.
I mean, I know it's matchups and everything, and it's a little bit different, but I think Dallas would be favored because if Sacramento is and Dallas is plus money, people would bet on Dallas at plus money.
I agree with that. Dallas can probably find a way to slow them down a little bit too. And if their shot is off Sacramento, they're done. They're done. They better be shooting 45, 50% every single game.
And if it's Golden State, Sacramento, you can forget it. Golden State's going to be the favorite.
Yeah. It's 2 big offensive forces with Golden State.
I guess the thing is now, do the Suns pass the Kings for the 3 seed? That's going to be something to watch. I didn't really look at the.
Yeah, how many games back are they? We should check that out
3?
right now.
let's see the Kings' schedule here. I mean, the Kings feel like they've had a real light schedule lately.
4-game winning streak, 7 of their last.
They beat OKC twice, the Clippers, Portland. They lost to Phoenix. They beat Dallas, lost to Dallas, beat Houston twice. I mean, come on. They've got Houston, OKC, Portland recently. Now they get the Clippers again tonight with no Kawhi. Minnesota at home, New Orleans at home, the Knicks at home, at Phoenix, Milwaukee. They got Boston, Phoenix.
Oh, wow. So it gets tough?
Yeah, I mean, it's a mix. They have Portland 3 times. No, twice. And Portland obviously needs those games. They got Golden State, Denver, Phoenix twice. It's a mix, but they also have Minnesota. Well, Minnesota, though, I was going to say maybe Karl Anthony Towns will be back, but that's probably not going to happen.
He'll be back in 2-3 weeks.
That is the biggest joke, bro.
Just that he's out for this long?
Yeah, no updates, nothing. I mean, the dude had a calf injury, bro. What has he been out, 3 months?
Dude, it's been forever.
It was my first round pick in the league.
Yeah, it's been literally forever. And even let's face it. Yes, he gives you more offense with him on the floor, but he's a defensive liability anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't change them defensively.
Yeah, I saw like their record with and without him, and it wasn't much different. I mean, again, he's barely played, but So
I really thought he was going to be the premier center in the league. I was wrong about that. Because, I mean, you take Embiid over him 10 times out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
You take Jokic over him 20 times out of 20. He's an offense guy. That's it. He forfeits on defense. Even at power forward, forfeits on defense. You see him on the wing. Doesn't move well. Just doesn't. And you probably don't even remember because you've barely seen him play this season.
Got an odds boost on FanDuel.
Ooh, all right. What is it?
Dame Lillard, Klay Thompson, and Michael Porter Jr. to each make 3 threes plus 130. I know you're going to say, I don't trust Michael Porter. Michael Porter's been banging threes.
He has.
The only reason, and it's always 2.5. The only reason why I don't play it, it's always juiced to minus 150, minus 160.
Not worth it then.
But let's see. So he's
hit 3, 4, and then a 1 against Memphis. 6-5-5.
Yeah. So he's gone over this. He's hit the 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the last 6. The one he didn't was against Memphis in Memphis. Memphis not as good on the road. I got to think Denver comes to play tonight, bro. After losing to Memphis recently and they're home, I got to think Denver comes to play tonight.
I agree with that.
I don't know if I mean, Dame is a lock, right?
Nothing's a lock.
Damian Lillard with no Simons again, and I'm
look,
so pissed.
If you're gonna give me a boost involving Damian Lillard and it's something relating to shots, he's gonna get all the shots in the world. Simons is back on the shelf again.
Right.
He re-injured his ankle.
Dame needs to hit 3 threes. He's hit 2 actually only 2 in each of the last 2 games. Then 13, 8, 5, 8, 6, 1, 2, 5. So I guess it's not a lock, but it's Atlanta.
Right.
Last time he faced Atlanta, he had 5 threes on January 30th. He had 5 threes and had 42. And then Klay, it's a matter of them staying better. I'm probably not going to do it.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it either.
The DraftKings boost is not player props. It's teams. And they always scare me with this one. I'm trying to remember if the last one hit, but it's 50% profit boost on the Celtics and Nuggets to win tonight. I mean, that's actually really good. Right? I mean, Boston's not losing to Brooklyn, are they?
I don't see it.
They're 11-point favorites.
I don't see it. Wow. I didn't realize the spread was that high.
I mean, is the boost only to minus 135? No. Oh, wait, maybe you got I didn't opt in yet. Or no, it says I opted in. I hate sometimes. Okay, there it is. Plus 112.
Because
plus 112.
You can't just opt in and then place the bet. You've got to go to your email, accept it.
No, you don't. You don't have to accept the email. You just on the app. I mean, I know you get the email, but I get the alerts on the phone.
Right.
But just go to it's up top, Friday night favorites.
Yep.
What do you think about that one?
It's not bad. I mean, I'll mull it over a little bit. I'll let it marinate.
I mean, I don't think Denver loses tonight, man.
I think
after just losing to Memphis the way they did.
What's the spread on that game?
5.5.
That's not bad, Roan.
Yeah, they're minus 210, and Boston is minus 540.
You know what, Roan?
At plus 112 for the both to win.
I might actually do this.
Right?
I might actually do that, and I might bet Denver minus 5.5 on DraftKings.
I mean, Memphis has been horrendous on the road.
Yeah.
They've been really bad.
Adams still. So, yeah. You know what? You just opened my eyes to this. I'm at least betting
Well,
this.
If you're going to do the boost, don't do the spread.
just
How
in
would you do
case
that?
Boston lets down, which I don't think they will. Boston's not letting down. They're not. You see the way the Nets played the other night?
Yeah.
They can only do so much offensively.
Memphis is 12-18 on the road.
Oof.
And 26-5 at home.
I'm fine with that boost. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, Memphis. Memphis Rockets. They haven't. That was a good Nuggets win, but they got them at home. Their last, they beat the Rockets on the road. That doesn't count. They lost to the Sixers on the road, lost to Boston on the road, lost to the Cavs on the road, Minnesota on the road. They lost to. Oh my God, they've lost wow. They have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Before they beat the Rockets, they lost 8 straight road games.
Damn.
Some of those teams are good, though. Sixers, Boston,
yep.
Cavs, Minnesota, Golden State, Sacramento, Phoenix, and the Lakers. So to be fair, those are good teams, almost all of them.
I don't believe – they're the 2 seed, right? I don't believe in them.
I don't either.
I just don't. And I don't mean any disrespect to John Moran or anything like that. Fantastic player. I don't believe in this team. I just don't see this team in a series being able to beat a Denver, let's just say. Being able to beat a Phoenix, which would probably at this point from what we're thinking could be a second-round matchup.
And Denver at home is just unbelievable.
28-4.
Yeah. I want to see who those 4 losses are to.
Yeah, just incredible from what we've seen with Denver.
We know Denver's a tough place to play, the altitude and all that.
I'll be real with you. I kind of thought that was BS, that whole thing.
The Knicks won there. But that was November 16th. I remember someone pointed.
Isaiah Groves did, our producer.
So wait a second.
Yeah.
So Denver lost November 16th at home to the Knicks, November 22nd at home to Detroit. Those are 2 of their losses.
They played down to
They lost to Dallas at home on December 6th. So 3 of their losses came early. And I'm looking for the next loss. It was the Thunder.
Weird.
By 2 on January 22nd. Wow. So they lost to the Thunder and the Pistons at home.
Yeah. Wild.
That is nuts.
Major upset.
They don't lose much, man.
Imagine taking the money line on some of those teams.
Oh, man.
You're probably getting some nice odds on that.
Yeah, man.
Plus 200, 300.
More than that.
Yeah. Damn.
For the Knicks, no. But Detroit, yeah.
Detroit was probably plus 540.
OKC was probably plus 400, plus 500.
Right. Although one of the things you said, even with OKC being where they are, they were very efficient defensively for a while.
Yeah, but it's still at that point too. People still were looking. Oh, Jokic didn't play the OKC game.
That makes sense then.
Neither did Porter.
Oh, he gets hurt. They're done. They're finished.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of depth.
No, they're done. They're completely finished if they lose Jokic.
That sucks for them. Who are you rooting for in the West? I'm kind of rooting for
Denver.
Me too, man. Look, I know Phoenix hasn't won in a while, but you just got Kevin Durant, man.
I don't think they've ever won.
No, I know. But I'm just saying because they've been so good the last 2 years. But it's just I don't know. When you go out and get that the way that the whole thing transpired.
They got lucky.
They did, man. So
this is Kevin Durant right here. Falling.
I would have rather I'd have more of an interest rooting for them if they didn't make the Durant trade because they've been so good the last 2 years. They've been close. I'd be more inclined to root for them in that scenario. I'd rather see Denver right now.
They've become a super team. That's the problem.
Yeah. And I usually don't have a problem. I just the timing of it, the way it transpired, I don't love it.
They got lucky.
Yeah.
They got lucky. They were a product of the Nets' hostile environment.
I don't want to see Golden State win again. They're cool, but I'm done with them.
You see Dylan Brooks, by the way, this guy doesn't shut his mouth.
I know, man. Dude, you know Golden State and Memphis played this weekend.
Oh, man.
And Dre and him have been going at it.
Yeah.
That I Saturday or Sunday.
Dre sticks his tongue out at him, and they're and then Dylan Brooks goes, "Oh, if Dre were anywhere else, he wouldn't be anywhere."
Oh, no, my bad. It's next Thursday, I think, because I remember them advertising TNT. Is it next Thursday? Yeah, Warriors Grizzlies Thursday, 7:30 in Memphis.
That's gonna be a little bit testy. of
And
an
then your
environment.
Knicks get the primetime game, Knicks-Kings, which actually is a good game.
That'll be a good game with the way the Knicks have been playing on
all right.
offense.
Well, we're going to get to props, right?
Yep, let's actually start that up here. 10 games tonight. I'll give you some DFS values. I did the value video on fantasyalarm.com. He's Adam Ronis. I'm Justin Fensterman. It is the playbook here on BSN.
Bettor Sports Network. It's sports talk done better.
Washington Commander fans, it's time to rejoice. The day you've been waiting for seems like it's finally on the way. And you know what day I'm talking about. No, not the next time you have a parade down Constitution Avenue. That's still years away. But the day you get to say goodbye to the man who has owned that franchise since 1999. It's Daniel Snyder. You know it well because he's been the worst owner in sports in the 24 years he's owned that football team. That once proud franchise, the Washington Redskins, the Hogs, the championships, Doug Williams, Joe Gibbs. Now what you have left behind? Memories of Albert Hainsworth. How did that work out? Horrible free agent signings, not to mention the scandals. Just this past 18 months alone, the horrible reveal of the Commanders' team name when everybody knew who it was the day before. Oh, that Sean Taylor statue, that gimmick, that joke. How about the touchdown celebration of the mascot, the Tutty? That was horrible. You keep getting in your way, time and time again. The best thing you had for your fan base this offseason was hiring them an offensive coordinator. And now the later scandals, financial misconduct, all these things you got going on. Yet you want Roger Goodell in the NFL to look the other way while you negotiate your sale of the team on your terms. It don't work like that. Only person you've really got on your side is Jerry Jones, and it's not going to be enough. So go ahead, Daniel Snyder. Do the right thing. Sell the team, go on about your business. Don't worry about this no more. The fan base deserves better. You've done a lot to tear this situation down. It's just time to walk away. Don't try to negotiate your own terms. Do the right thing and give the Washington, D.C. natives, give the people inside the Capitol Beltway their team back. You can find more contents like this at Bettor Network on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Are we getting on the glass? Transition three. He has been magnificent. 6 threes for Irving, 7 for Doncic.
There's been a few losses over the last week where we felt like they were very winnable games. So it's definitely a different approach tonight for us as a team because we really wanted this. I really wanted this, but I think the last time I was sitting up here, I just had to join the party, and just make sure my teammates were going to follow along. And Luka was ready for the party. I was ready for the party tonight. And it was one of those games where we had some special performances, and I'm just grateful that the work translated because it could have gone either way.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com.
If you missed Sixers Mavs last night, just an unbelievable performance by the Mavericks backcourt. They couldn't miss a shot. They couldn't. Neither player were shooting very well. At one point, when I think that the Mavs had about 100 something, they combined for 80 at one point, Roan. 80 points between these two players. They were shooting the Mavs over like 60% or around, dude.
Yeah, so this is sometimes what happens on social media when you see these tickets. This is a ticket that hit the other night. Okay. So it's a first basket parlay, but it tells you pick the method of the basket. So Bam Adebayo layup, Cam Johnson 3-point field goal, and Al Horford with other. This hit 77 cents to $18,000. How lucky do you have to be to get that?
You're the luckiest person in the
right?
world. What's other? What is other?
It could be any way.
Wow.
So it could be a 3, a 2, but for the Bam, it had to be a layup. And for Cam Johnson, it had to be a 3. And then Horford, anything.
I would never bet anything like that.
77 cents?
Well, yeah, I know. It's a great return and everything. It's an absolute great return. But
how do you come up with that? What kind of research are you doing?
It's like playing bingo. You're lucky.
Damn, man. 77 cents to 18K. No, there's some stats on first baskets that I've seen.
Really?
Yeah. I'd say Porzingis gets a lot of first baskets. I mean, a lot, obviously, they got to win the tip and all that, but the other team could win the tip and miss the shot. There's things you can look at though.
So let me ask you this:
there's still some luck though.
So for these first baskets, let's say it doesn't have to be like the team's first basket, or is it the first basket of the game?
First basket of the game.
You
can bet first team basket as well.
I would never bet anything like this.
You
man.
did in the past. Or was it? It was a Derrick Henry carry or something.
It was Derrick Henry's first carry of the game would be over 4.5 yards, and it was 3, and I lost that bet. And you did not like that bet that I placed, and I never placed a bet like that since.
And and you've refrained. I do first baskets for a while. I had a free bet. I did a Joel Embiid first basket. It didn't hit.
How do you track it? I just don't know. You don't know how a team's going to be set up after the tip. You just don't know.
There's definitely some type of luck involved in it, but there's always stats and things you can do to try and figure things out.
77 cents.
That's crazy to 18K.
Just like
people
that.
see that, and then they start experimenting with these wild parlays.
That's why I don't do that, man. I don't. And you got at me that night that I did that Derrick Henry bet, and you were right. You were right. And never placed a bet like that ever since. That was about 2-3 years ago.
All right. So I have I gave out one bet already. I got 3 others.
All right. Can I guess what one of them is? You know what? I'm not going to steal your thunder.
Yes.
The Suns, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Come on.
I texted you last night.
Yeah,
Kevin Durant's 21.5.
We were going back and forth, bro, and I bet it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to. He had 23 the other night in 27 minutes. Even if there's a minutes limit, say it's 27 again, 28. He took 15 shots from the field. I know it's a tougher defense, Charlotte to Chicago, but he's played the Bulls twice this year, 44 and 32. Both were 38 minutes, but he also got to the free throw line 21 times, hit all of them. So we're not going to get this line much longer. So I'm going to play the over.
Yep.
And then Walker Kessler over 11.5 rebounds. It was plus 100 on BetMGM. He averaged 11.4 rebounds per game in February. His minutes obviously been going up. He's over this in 5 of the last 6 games with 15, 5, 14, 18, 12, and 15 rebounds. He played at least 30 minutes in 6 of the last 8 games. In the 5 rebound game, he only played 19 minutes against the Pacers. So the Thunder have no size. They're one of the worst rebounding teams. They're 26th in rebounding rate. And he just faced the Thunder on February 23rd, had 18 rebounds. It was an overtime game. And this is a game. This is a spot to ladder too. If you want to bet 12 rebounds or more, 13, 14, up to 15, it's not crazy. He should go crazy tonight. And then I have Kelly Olynyk over 6.5 rebounds. He's gone over this in 5 straight. I know it's tough to have 2 players on the same team rebounds, but you only need 7 from Olynyk. He had 7 last time against the Thunder. So those are the bets. And then I have a couple other that I'm debating. But what are yours?
So the one that I'm also considering too,
Wait, did you do the boost yet?
I have not done the boost yet.
You're going to?
I'm going to do the boost though.
All right, I'm going to do it too. I hope we're not falling for a trap, bro.
That's why I keep saying to myself, maybe I should just bet the Denver game solo. Because I like that spread on the Nuggets tonight. I do.
So you're more confident in Denver winning straight up than Boston?
Nah.
The Nets have lost 6 of 7.
They look awful. They look terrible.
I mean, they got trounced by the Knicks.
Yeah.
Trounced by the Bucks game was kind of close, but then they pulled away. They lost to the Hawks by 2, but the Hawks aren't good. They got destroyed by the Bulls by 44. The last time they won was the Heat. They're not good. Yeah, I don't know.
So you're doing this at minus 135.
Oh, plus 112. You got to opt in.
I did. I literally just opted in.
Okay, well, you got to make sure that the profit boost with the money sign comes up.
Yeah.
It's going to be plus 112.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still seeing it at minus. I probably have to go back through my email and check it out. Yes, I am going to do
All right, I'm doing it too.
I'm going to do the
just
boost
did it.
tonight. Let's watch Boston.
Hopefully we didn't fall for a trap.
Boston getting trounced tonight. I want to talk with you about a Ricky props bet that Rick Kamla said in one of our box breaks, and it involves Matisse Thybulle.
Yo, I was debating writing him up because I have my PicksWise article up, and I was there were 2 things I was looking at with him: his 3-point prop, which is 1.5, and his points. Is it still 8.5?
Yes,
dude, that is absurd.
I am betting that right now. And I think that Rick Campbell, who, by the way, joins us every single week, and you hear him with Lisa Ann every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, right after us on Bettor Sports Live. I heard that, and it immediately, my ears perked up immediately.
But remember, he played Houston, played 36 minutes, only had 8 points.
But he's gone over in his last couple. Though.
2, yeah. He played.
Which you'll take, though, in this matchup. It's the Hawks. They're
and Simons is out. He took 10 shots last game. Let me see. Who does he defend in this game?
Who's he going to defend?
Yeah, Trey or DeJounte?
Who, Thibault?
Yeah.
I thought that he was going to be on Hunter. I could be.
Why would you put him on Hunter?
No, you know what? You'll probably have to put him on DeJounte then. Because he probably.
So then if that's the case, don't we have to play Trey Young? Props?
Yeah. I mean,
the guy's his point prop is 26.5. He's been scoring 30, or his points and assists. But I don't have nothing in that game, and I feel like I need to have something in Atlanta, Portland.
I've got, what about my Clint Capella prop?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Will you go in on that? You could go in on the P. I mean, it's a little juiced up. That's the one problem.
Yeah.
So you could either go on the PRs or make the mistake like I did and do the PRAs, which is one more up than the PRs. PRs are 22.5. I think that's a very nice line.
Like, I think the Thibault line is,
4 points.
It's hard for me to trust a guy like this.
So the
line is so low,
my biggest concern is Cam Reddish.
Yeah, he's going to start, and
So
Cam.
that's my one
Yeah.
problem with this. Although it's so low.
I know.
And the Hawks play. Defense against forwards.
What about the threes? It's 1.5. I think he's had at least 3 threes in 3 straight, right? Let me see.
He's had 2, 5, 2, 1.
Yeah.
So,
oh man,
you know what?
It's
man?
not a bad bet at all. I'm
going with it. I'm in.
Were you doing the 8.5 points?
Yep, I'm in on it. And by the way, not only am I in on that, but on my value video for DFS on Fantasy Alarm.
Oh no, he's a better DFS value.
Yes, I was just saying that he's part of the value video too today. So, and I did say, by the way, in that value video, you could look at Cam Reddish as well. It's the Hawks. They suck defensively. They do. Their backcourt defense was good. It's not the same. Their front court defense is non-existent. And who's scoring besides, you got Jeremy Grant, you got Damian Lillard, and that's it. That's all they have. Lillard going to go for 150 tonight? Nobody else going to shoot. Somebody else has to score this basketball.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. It's just 8.5. I know how you feel, and we talk about this sometimes. When it looks too easy, you're going to get stumped.
It's not that it's easy. I just don't think it's probably low because a lot of people aren't betting it. Like, it's not a bad play at all. He gets 2 threes, you're at 6.
Right.
So
pace will be quick, Roan. It's going to be.
I don't know. Something just gives me hesitation. I don't know why. Because I was looking at it early today and I almost wrote it up, and I'm like, no. So the other guy that I've been playing a lot, De'Aaron Fox, man.
He's for sure back tonight, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
27.5 points. I guess my lone concern is this game stay close. It probably does, right?
I think so. I
think 27.5 points. The points and assists is 34.5. He's been crushing it, man.
Yeah, he carries this offense. That's what he does. Him and Sabonis.
The last time they played, obviously, it was a double overtime game, right? Not triple. It was double, right?
Yes.
176, 175. Yeah, double. So last time he faced them, he had 42 and 12. His last few games, 33, 42, 31, 35, 36, 33, 31. So 7 straight games, he's gone over 30 points, and the line is 27.5.
Not bad. No, look, again, it's with this. He's got Westbrook tonight.
Is that a 10? That's a 10 o'clock game?
Yes, 10-10.
All right, let me see.
10-10 wins.
So I got – what do I have? I
got one more.
Kessler and Olynyk at 8.
Uh-huh.
What was my –
you got the boost.
Damn. So I got 3 players in the 8 o'clock game. Jazz Thunder. I got Jalen Williams, Kessler, and Olynyk, and then Durant's at 8. So – I guess I can wait, and then if I do well or see that they're going to hit, and then go De'Aaron Fox at 10. We got a lot of late games.
We do. I got one more that I'd like to bring up to you. Now, I looked at the usage on this and how much it changes when Fox is in versus Fox is out. You brought this player up to me a few times. What do you think about Keegan Murray points, rebounds? 17.5. The usage doesn't change much with Fox in versus out. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I made sure to check that out just before this because Fox, of course, we know a lot of time on the ball. But look at what he's done. 13 and 10, 20 and 6, 15 and 3. I mean, he's on a little bit of a run right now, and he's shooting very well. Oh, 50% from the floor in 3 of his last 4.
If I'm going to do anything, it'll be Fox.
Right.
There. And then Brandon Ingram tonight.
What's the prop at?
Well, I mean, they're 5-point dogs on the road. Golden State. Yeah, I don't know. Do I want to go there? They've looked horrible. Oh, the other Anthony Davis tonight. So I almost wrote up Anthony Davis to 12.5 rebounds. I see he doesn't have a good history against Gobert, but is it different now because of what he has to do for this team? Like I thought about points and rebounds was 40.5 or PRA's 40. This guy's been crushing it, man.
What about the points alone?
You could do that too.
Here's how I see this. Here's how I see this. Rudy Gobert, when you take him out of the paint and you put him on the ball, like an on-the-ball defender, he's not as good. You have him in the paint there, you're posted up on him, he's more effective.
Dude, Davis has gone over 12.5 rebounds every game that LeBron hasn't played, and you see the numbers he's putting up. I mean, and they need him right now. He's got to carry this team. We saw last game out 28 and 19. Game before that, 30 and 15. Against Dallas and Memphis. I mean, so 47 and 45.
No, it's not bad. And you know that it'll be a fast-paced game, too.
Yeah. I'm debating that. Maybe that's something later. So Magic Hornets, nothing. What about Markelle Fultz points?
So I was thinking about that before with him. That's not bad.
Against the Hornets, right?
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, you could even look at, at first I looked at Wendell Carter and I'm like, I'm staying away. Fultz's points are at 14.5.
He's gone over in 4 of the last 6, actually 5 of the last 6, and the 2 games he didn't were 14.
You got his game log up right now?
Yeah, 21, 14, 18, 14, 19, 18, 17.
How many shots did he take during that span?
14, 9, 14, 14, 15, 15, 14. So he's been taking 14 shots. The one game he didn't against the Pelicans, he only had 14. The other 14 against Detroit. Against Detroit 14. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not bad. I'm not going to play it. It's hard. That game could be ugly.
Yeah.
225 total.
Do you start looking at Paolo Banchero unders because of how horribly he's been shooting from the outside?
Dude, the last game out, I thought about it, and he went over. I get this guy wrong all the time. I think I've taken a couple. No, it wasn't. It was the game against the Pelicans. I was like,
he's been shooting horribly.
I know. So against the Pelicans, I was looking at the under. He scored 29. Then he scored 9 against the Bucks. He's been – dude, he won Rookie of the Month? I was like, huh? They put it up on the screen. I forgot who won in the West. Who would win in the West? I can't remember.
I'm thinking I'm going through them all right now.
Because I don't really care about those stuff, but it came up on the screen, and he was shooting 35% for February. I'm like, how's he Rookie of the Month?
It must be by default.
By no one else.
Yes, exactly. We thank all of you for hanging with us today and all week. We'll be back next week, 5 p.m. Eastern. We thank our producers, the Shuddy, Will Shuddy, and the Resource AB, Adam Bernard. He's Ronas on Feds T. Campus Canton coming up next.